Yo, miss, are you broke? Why are you teaching me about life
I'd say, miss, on your books.
when you're broke?
That would have been the bomb.
Boy.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Kaz Kell channel, the best podcast, undiscovered diamond, unmined out there on YouTube. Today's topic, we are going to ask a very, very serious, very controversial question. Is the education system that we are being fed a scam?
100.
So, for me, definitely yes.
I think it's a scam, and I will explain why later. Listen, there's stigma attached to not wanting to study and pursue an education, and especially if you're first or second generation immigrants, because your parents come to this country and they do a lot of, let's say, lower level jobs, and in their dreams they have this idea that my son or my daughter will go to university, they'll have a 9-to-5 office job so they can live a better life than we did. Number one. Number two, it also stems from the fact that if we can go back, I think it was, I don't know the exact dates, but let's say 100 years ago, only the special prestigious people in society could study.
Yeah.
They could afford it. So education was associated with the idea of prestige and luxury. And I just feel like that's been passed down in generations and has been fed to us.
Mm-hmm. But bouncing off that as well, let's say like even 20, not even 100, like 10, 20 years ago, professions that we want to get into now or that we were thriving to get into, they were getting money. Mm-hmm. They are not getting money like that. Doctors, like, how much money were doctors making compared to now?
That's it.
Like, junior doctors are on what, 13 to 15 pound an hour? Like, that's crazy.
It's an absolute joke.
Literally, pharmacists, how much were pharmacists getting? Mm-hmm. Accountants, lawyers?
They get the bump the most.
Lawyers?
Because with them,
not enough.
it's like after you've done your degree and all that, there's the LPC thing that they have to do.
It's continuous training.
It's continuous training for like another 5-6 years. And then you do all of that to defend criminals, and you're getting bumped, and you're doing shift work, and you're on call.
And on that income, you can't afford a Ferrari. You can't even
forget Ferrari. You can't even pay for your gas bill, your mortgage, your kids.
You're struggling.
Your kids are asking you to go to McDonald's, and you're like, not this week.
Question for you: you've got kids.
I've got kids. Yeah.
We don't have kids.
Yeah.
When they're 17, 18, and we were talking about personal statements earlier, how much of it they always they're filling out their personal statements because their teacher's telling them to do. Are you gonna encourage them to go to university?
Okay, here's the situation. I hope by the time my kids are entering the whole university, whatever period, I would have achieved a level of success that would allow them to have that choice.
They have that choice, but let's say
I want them to have a
let's
choice.
say don't achieve that level of success.
because they're not.
You're a normal parent.
Okay,
normal
if I was in the
families.
normal tax bracket, I would look at where my children's strengths are. I would want to know what course they want to study and how that will help them achieve their dream or their goal. Say, for instance, my daughter tells me, I would love to open up my own salon one day, Mum. I'm going to go study business. I'd be like, you don't need to study business. You could just incorporate your company online for 30 quid and the rest is history. You don't need to sit in a business class for 5 years learning about how to start a business and the success of a business or whatnot.
Because you studied business. So
I did
what's
for
your
4
thoughts
years,
on that?
man.
What did you learn studying business?
Yeah.
There was the biggest pile of shit. It was actually
Tell us, okay,
shareholders, stakeholders' interest.
why do they not teach us these things when we're at university? Why don't we have a class at university that teaches us real life skills? Like, for example, the tax system.
Yeah, because I remember my first paycheck.
Oh, I didn't know. I was like, what is this?
Yeah, when I qualified and I got my first paycheck, I was like, wait, so this is how much I earn, but then why is it now...
Why has it gone half?
And I'll tell you why they don't teach us that stuff.
What's the... I've studied A-level maths. What's the maths here?
Yeah.
Because it was this and now it's this.
I'll explain that to you. Imagine a bunch of sheep are being reared, okay? They're being from babies. You've got a bunch of sheep, little lambs, yeah? And you're teaching them how to be sheep every day, yeah? This is what you do. You follow a flock. This is what you do. But then you, as let's say the system, know that one day you're going to teach them to go to that cliff, but they're going to fall off, right? You're not going to teach them about that cliff. You're not going to want them to know about that cliff. That's why we're not taught about tax systems.
You ain't taught about shit.
They don't want you to know about that
they
cliff.
teach us about the tax system, no one will go to work.
We'll be like, all right, I don't want to be a sheep. Work? If that's where I'm going as a sheep, I don't want to know. I'm not going towards that cliff, but they want you to go towards that cliff.
You're unhappy with your life, and you're unhappy with your life.
Yeah.
It's because we've accepted the fact that we're slaves.
Yeah. We are woke. That's it. And now the question is it better to be woke or is it better to be ignorant?
I don't know. Sometimes ignorance is bliss. Because you could live as long as you're happy ultimately. Yeah. But once you've risen and understood the fact that you're a slave in this game of life. Yeah. And it's like, mate, I'm just a machine in a cog. I'm going to go to work.
You're a rat. Yeah.
I'm going to do my job, come home, get paid, pay the bills. And how long is the cycle going to continue? And how long can I continue the cycle before
before you crack? Yeah.
But what's the alternative?
When you accept the fact that you're a slave, when you've actually accepted it, you can then think, okay,
what else can I do?
What can I do to save myself?
Literally.
But when you don't accept it, you don't think
happy.
like that. You're happy. You're content. You're content. Because that was me probably 3 years ago. Yeah. That was me 3 years ago. I wasn't thinking YouTube, social media, nothing. I just thought, done my education, got my career. Mm-hmm. This is going to be my life. I'm just every month I'm just going to put a certain amount to the side, and it's going to pile up. And then, I just had no ambition like that. And I feel like the second I accepted that I'm a slave, I was like, damn.
The only reason we question why we are slaves is because we're putting in the work as slaves. And with the compensation we're getting is minimal, whereas the highest earners for our jobs, like I'm a contracted management account, you're a contracting pharmacist. In our job, in that job spec, we're getting paid as high as you can get.
Yeah, 100%.
Paid, yeah?
100.
And at the end of every month, we're like, yo, we're broke again. How is this possible?
Yeah.
So it's like, look, I'm slave to the system and I'm getting zero compensation for it besides making month to month.
Yeah. Okay, can I ask you both a question? At what particular point did you realize that you're a slave to the system? What was the breaking point or turning point? Was it one event or was it gradual?
This year. I feel like since we got the house, since we started living in that house, and we're like, yo, every month we're paying the bills. Every month. We got no money left over.
True.
I'm just like, bro, look, we're getting paid very well in our fields compared to everyone else.
Yeah.
Why
are we struggling?
Why am I struggling?
If I'm struggling,
how are people living?
How are they living?
Literally.
I feel you get
angry.
And I'm like, am I doing something wrong because it's not adding up?
And the rental market for the biggest pile of poo locations in London is like $2,000 for a one bed apartment.
That's it. It's cheaper to have a mortgage than to rent.
Yeah, but they won't give you a mortgage.
You're not getting a mortgage.
So you're stuck.
You're stuck.
You're really stuck.
That's what I'm saying. I do not understand for the life of me why there's not a massive revolution worldwide on how hard we're getting shafted.
Let's start it now. Let's start the revolution now.
Guys, in London, in France have got a 10 times better deal than the population in the UK, and they're rioting every single year because their government's trying to.
The French have a history of
good on them. Good on them. Good on you,
they don't
French.
Think it's, sitting down.
100% good on, because the nation here is so docile that no matter what the government says, we're like, okay, yeah, fine. Okay. And then when the NHS goes on strike, we cuss the NHS and we're like, fuck off, let them strike.
Yeah,
let them strike.
Cussing the nurses? Weren't we at their doorsteps during COVID?
Were we clapping for the NHS?
When did that stop?
It stops when they ask for a pay rise. That's what it is.
Literally.
So, why are the rail workers going on strike again? Because they're broke. All right.
Literally, that's absolutely.
It's
true.
like the greed with these companies is hitting all-time high, where the CEO, The CEO of like Bet365, some lady, she made about £300 million last year.
What a joke.
300, like, which kind of person needs to make £300 million?
All that money. Like, I don't want to sound like a communist or a socialist here because we're not, but
there should be a ceiling, man.
Yeah, there needs to be some sort
there should be a ceiling.
Like you were saying, the disparity is just too much.
It's ridiculous, bro. The way I understood it initially is there's a war going on in Russia and Ukraine. Yeah. Gas prices as a whole has gotten more expensive for the supplier, like BP and stuff. So they're making less money. Yeah. So they have to charge us more money. I'm like, okay, that's fair. Yeah. But then this quarter, they released the reports and they made record-breaking profits. Of course. They made about 5 billion profit.
Yeah, it's a joke.
So why did we get bumped for the last year? Why am I paying £2 per litre for petrol?
And one more thing, you were saying petrol's gone up. The whole topic of education. Guess what else has gone up?
What?
Fees, university fees.
Oh yeah.
Good. Let that go up so it discourages everyone to go.
Again,
to not go.
Again. That's so mad.
How much is it now?
I'm not 100% sure, but they were discussing it going up.
Let's Google it.
Yeah.
And how is that ethically correct to make people pay for their education?
And when you're not even guaranteed a job afterwards.
Mate, are you charging me to be a slave now? Yeah. Is that what you're doing to me?
So my question is, the fees keep going up. Does that mean that education is getting better?
No, it's getting more competitive.
It's getting more competitive.
Which means less opportunities when you graduate.
It's about 10 grand still.
10 grand, that's too much.
It's still gone up.
10 grand a year, bro. 10 grand a year, you're paying 30k for a degree.
Sometimes 40 if you're doing your master's.
Yeah, if you're doing your masters and stuff, then you're going up to 50k at least.
Unless there's a specialized area that you want to get into, I would recommend any young person going into the whole education system.
But also, even if it's a specialized subject you want to get into, really question it. Do you really want to get into it, and why are you getting into it? Like, for example, me, in order to be a pharmacist, you have to study pharmacy. But it's like, do you actually know what being a pharmacist is? Or do you actually know what being a doctor is? Do you actually know what being a lawyer is? What it involves?
How much do you need to make in each city or country to be earning 10 grand a month?
Okay.
Yeah, and this takes into consideration taxes and etc.
Yeah, hit me.
So in London, if you wanted to earn, if you wanted to have 10 grand a month,
right,
you would have to earn £208,000.
That's correct.
Before tax.
Yep.
In New York, you would have to earn £182,000.
Oh crap!
In Dubai, you would only need to earn 120. So, in Dubai, is zero income tax.
Wow.
That's the thing. It's tax.
So it's two issues here. It's the taxation system, but you need to pay taxes as well for the services. But then
I'm more than happy to pay taxes. I'm actually more than happy because as far as I see it, mate, we came as immigrants.
Yeah,
you definitely.
All
right. You were born here, so you're all right.
I came as a refugee.
But no matter if you're an immigrant or whatever, you're basically paying back for your schooling and your free school meals and all of that. I'm more than happy to pay for that shit. But what I'm not happy with is paying for wars in Iraq and paying for wars in Syria. And stuff. Like, I don't vote for that.
King's coronation?
King's coronation. Bounce.
What about
Richard.
when
What's his name? Is it King Richard?
No, it's King Charles, man.
King Charles, a fucking pussy. Who's Richard then?
What about when they paint Buckingham Palace?
Or
the Big Ben and stuff?
The Big Ben, 10 million, 20 million pounds they cost. Mate, get some Kurds up in there. They'll paint it for like 7 grand.
No, they won't. They'll ruin it. Paying taxes, of course. You pay your taxes to get, the services. And you don't question that until you actually get sick and you end up in A&E. And then when you're in A&E and you're sick and it takes you 6 hours to see that poor doctor who's had enough of all the patients.
Especially when you're paying for private.
No. Shut up, Shalal. And no, that's a good point though, because I've got private healthcare. But do you know what?
Healthcare.
So quick story, yeah.
That's a biggest
quick
scam.
Story.
It's a scam. But you know why? Because even if you've got private healthcare, you still need to go to A&E and wait.
And you see the same doctors that are seeing the regular people.
And you're just
so Kellen was sick not so long ago. And she was like on the brink of death. Yeah, she was on a hospital bed.
So why are you laughing?
And she was like, "Can you guys tell the doctor I'm on private?"
Yeah. She had to remember.
And she was looking at me. She goes, "Go tell the doctor I'm a private patient. I need private healthcare. I need private."
The doctors told
They
Kaz, look, man,
looked at me and they're like, "We're all the same doctors. Tell your sister that." And I was like,
literally bounced. They've
like,
got 100 other people crying.
They don't care. And I was like, "Kelly, you need to cancel this membership. Have you cancelled it?"
I haven't cancelled the policy yet, and I didn't ask for the private because when I initially came in because I'm bougie. It's because I've had.
You did.
What? Because I'm bougie?
No, you asked for private.
Of course I did. Of course, because I'm paying for it. No, I said that's not why I asked because I'm bougie. I asked because I thought I've never had private healthcare before. I've always been a brokey.
Yeah, 100%. If I'm paying this much every month,
and I'm thinking I'm paying.
Let's see what it's about.
I'm paying a bit of money towards private healthcare. Let me see what's on the table. And I'm there dying with like. And the doctor looked. And he's like, no.
He's probably looking at you like, bro, I'm on like what, £15 an hour. I've got this patient. I've done
and
a 14-hour
like 1 a.m. or some shit when we went asking for that stupid request. Private.
Anyways, we're going off topic. So you asked a question, Kellen, and it was, what is the alternative? And this question eats me up probably every morning when I wake up, because every morning when I'm like, I have to go work, I have this like, how can I escape this? What's the alternative? And the reality is, I think back in the day, they used to say, don't have a plan B. Always have a plan A. And you guys might disagree. Yeah. Don't have plan B. Always have plan A. And just be laser focused, which I agree to a certain extent.
What's
but when,
plan A?
Like your dream job. So for example, be making this YouTube successful, right?
Yeah.
And it would be, so if I focus just on this, I forget everything else. But realistically, in today's like day and age, can I do that? I'm saying, if I can't just be focused on YouTube. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, you have to also work.
Yes, but back in the day, people had that vision of just do your dream, live like the bare minimum, and focus on your dream is fine. Do you get it? Whereas nowadays, you can't do that. You have to have a plan. You have to be juggling.
Yeah, of course. I get that.
Do you know what? Don't know. I've got a plan: A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
You have to,
because the more baskets that you have, the more eggs you can have in those baskets, and with everything, the uncertainty that's happening in today's world,
this is it.
Half of those baskets are going to get knocked over.
100%.
So you need a plan B.
100%.
There's no such thing as, okay, this is my sole focus, because what if that collapses? What are you doing with your life?
It goes beyond YouTube.
There's other things we're doing on the sidelines.
100%. 100%. You never know. You're not safe anymore.
No, you're not safe for nothing.
It doesn't matter what experience you have. It doesn't matter how many followers you have. It does. It's just that one comment that they can bring up from your past or anything.
Yeah.
You're gone. You're white.
I have a good question. Do you guys know anyone that has gone to university and followed that field in their career and has been successful?
No. I've heard of people who've been successful as barristers and X, Y, and Z.
Damn, that's exactly the person.
But I've never seen
that same one person.
It's literally one person that I've heard of.
You don't even know her.
We don't know her.
So you don't know her story.
No.
I don't know these
so that's a no.
Stories,
that's a no.
We do hear stories of, like, let's say, scientists.
Fucking hell, do you know them?
Do
you know anyone?
Okay, the question, do we know anyone? No.
No, I don't know anyone.
That's it then.
No, then I don't know anyone like that.
And they go on holiday like at least 2-3 times a year.
I don't know anyone like that.
Who?
People on universal credit. Cancel me. When you're on universal credit and you're getting benefits, there's a certain level of freedom in not having money, Shalal.
100%, I get that.
I'd rather be super rich or super broke.
The in-between is trash.
The in-between is where the slavery is.
Yo.
That's where the slave masters operate.
Yo.
I'm telling you, when I was on universal credit, okay, I was living on benefits, right?
Do you know...
I was free.
Sorry to cut you off. You literally went from there. You skipped the middle.
I skipped the middle.
Did. God, done that nicely.
God picked you up, and said
and just flung you to the next 3 levels.
Flung her like down for nah.
But do you know? I asked you that question. When did you realize that you're a slave?
When did you realize you're a slave?
My answer to that was by accident. I actually found out by accident because I got fired.
Yeah.
At my previous job.
Yes, you did.
Oh, yeah.
And then I couldn't get a job. Like every job that I was applying to was rejection. I tried to become a teacher. I didn't tell you this.
I remember.
School, I even said, please let me teach for free.
Do you remember that?
Keshan, I said, I'll make my own syllabus. And they said, we'll get back to you. So basically, I had so many rejections. I got fired so many times that I thought to myself, I've got nothing to lose. I'm so broke, I might as well start my business.
And alhamdulillah.
And then when I started my business, I thought, oh my God, I've been a slave.
Yep.
Do you remember when that first paycheck came in?
Ooh. Versace. But
that
yeah,
was nice.
That's when I realised, and I stumbled on it by accident. It wasn't planned. Because I would have happily followed that 9 to 5 average life.
So for you, it was more like God just said, no, Kel, this is what you deserve.
No, Kellen, I'm going to make sure everyone in your life rejects you.
Yeah.
Until I put you in that position. Otherwise, there's no way I'm moving.
Sometimes you need that. Sometimes that hunger of being rejected is the best thing for a person to
trust me.
Oh my
go to the
God,
next level.
do you remember?
So if you're going through a tough time,
time.
and you know what, the thing is, you don't ever stop going through tough times.
No, you don't.
So you just got to know that you have to think back, the last tough time I experienced, I got through it successfully, and I was in a much better place a couple of months after that. So this current tough time, I'm also going to come through it again. So why am I going to upset myself and stress myself out over it?
Yeah, 100%. I feel like it's all like the way, like it's like be as hard as it is, just staying positive and having faith. As hard as it is, if you're positive, if you just keep going.
But can I stop you there? Sometimes when I'm going through a tough time, I'm not going through that tough time by being positive. I'm going through that tough time because I'm angry.
Oh, 100%. So sometimes you need that anger to be like, you know what, ban everyone in the world.
Oh, yeah, ban everyone.
I'm born alone, die alone.
That's it. And that's what's getting me through some of the stuff that I'm getting through. I don't wake up positive like, hey, yes, I'm going to make it. No, I think I'm going to either die or I'm going to make it. Yeah. There's no in between.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need to be angry.
You remember last week when you were angry and you started your own recruitment agency?
I know.
And you got some contracts.
Yeah. The thing is, when you're angry like that, because you're so passionate, you're like, you know what, I'm going to take on the world. You know what, I've got nothing to lose. Yeah. Ban everyone
it's when
and
you
everything.
feel like you've got... let them reject me because I've already been rejected.
Literally.
I've had the most crappiest day today. It can't get any worse. Well, you telling me no is going to make me feel worse.
No, it's going to fuel my fire.
Yeah, 100%. Tell me no.
If you're living this life right now and you're not angry, then I really admire you.
100%.
I have a level of admiration for you because you guys, your bubbles have not yet been burst. And if you feel like your bubble hasn't been burst, then please turn off this video. Because if your bubble is intact, I rate you and I admire you. But if your bubble's been popped like ours has, you need to get angry.
Get angry. And you know what? I feel like there's so many reasons to be angry. If you've been cheated on, okay, because there's a lot.
Where is this podcast going?
See, we're talking about being a slave to the system, working hard, not getting anything back in return, and just having that built up anger and frustration. And when I came across this, I was like, oh my God, I feel it, especially last week.
So the question is, what's something that you want to get off your chest? And this anonymous person...
Stop there, my chest is so heavy right now.
Yeah.
If I offload, I'm getting cancelled.
Look at this offload.
Okay, go on.
This lady offloaded, she came in anonymous. She just wrote, I cried when I was being laid off. The senior manager was a great supporter and even a friend. I heard her sigh as she paused in a message delivery. I don't know what she thought of me crying. Maybe that I was weak. I never asked. I should have. I never told her, but I wanted to know that I was angry crying. I was in a crying jag that didn't end for days. Anger for all the workplace politics, underhanded, unethical, and plain old disrespectful, hateful behavior I had to work amongst with a significant amount of directed at me. Anger for not having the skill set to hold my own in such an environment. Anger that my parents provided zero education and such things and frankly never provided any support.
Oh my God.
Anger that I had been taken advantage of many, many times on so many levels. Angry that I had never found a solid mentor along the way. Angry that I neglected to finish my schooling.
Are you feeling this?
Angry that I was stripped in my self-esteem from all the years of enduring. Angry that I let push let people push me this way in the name of doing what is right for the company. Same thing in my personal life. Angry that my daughter slept under my desk through many hours of overtime.
So true.
That's so sad. You know what? That line,
that's happened
bro,
to me.
that killed me.
Oh, you're working and your kids are there, and then you can't. Oh my days! I'm so
Keep
angry.
it rolling.
Angry that I supported myself and many of my family members, and now there was the unknown.
Keep going.
Angry that I spent the better part of my life working for money at a job that I didn't really like, but rather just tolerated. Was I angry? No, I'm not angry so much, but I struggle. I have a very low paying job and need the support and kindness of others to just get by. When I should be retiring in a solid state, I find myself doing elder home care and cleaning toilets. As my least favorite person says, it is what it is.
That's why I wanted you to read that out, because that, unfortunately, is very relatable. Even if it's part of it, I believe everyone can relate to that.
That touched a nerve for me.
I feel like that would touch you for absolutely everyone. There is no way you are listening to that passage and not relating to that.
And how many people got laid off during COVID?
How unfortunate that we are living like dogs.
It is what it is.
We literally
Eating dog food.
eating dog food.
Is that what Michael Jackson song?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even Michael Jackson said that in
Michael
that
Jackson.
song.
Michael
He
Jackson,
escaped
he's
the system,
alive. He must.
And he said they don't even care about us.
They don't care
We're
about
eating
us.
dog
They don't even care about us.
But yeah,
One of the greatest songs of all time. 50 years ago, life was okay. Life was good.
But this is exactly my point that I made in the beginning. This is why people went into education to get into these professions.
Yeah, because they thought it was like back
there
in the
was
day.
money. There was money.
There's
in
no
it.
money now. Hello.
And if you have the money, the standard of living, everything's so expensive. It's not enough.
It don't make sense.
It's not enough.
Let me just clarify how bad things have got, yeah. In 2013, I bought a smart car. A 5-year-old, at that time, the smart car was 5 years old.
Yeah.
And I bought that car for £2,400. Yeah? Now, if I want to buy a 5-year-old smart car, minimum 10 grand.
Yeah. Car prices have gone up.
Like the inflation on that
It's ridiculous.
is ridiculous. That's a 4x on the price. Like 10 years ago, you would be earning this much in 10 years time. I'd be like, I'll be living life.
100. Oh my God.
If
Can you
someone,
imagine me?
Yeah, exactly. If someone told
me
you,
I'd be on like 30 to 40k, I'd be like, I'm living good.
Yo, yeah. Back in high school.
Free holidays.
If
Every
like
year,
take it
3
back,
holidays.
yeah. From if we went to high school, they're like, this is how much you're going to be earning. I would be like,
yo, you're gonna be in a higher tax bracket. I'm like, yo, if I'm making that kind of money, my life is gonna be amazing. I'm gonna be going on holiday every other month. If I pay that much money for you to fail, I will beat the ever living shit out of you. I'll pay for
100%.
private education.
I would never
and
pay
you
for private
failed.
education. You are getting homeschooled.
But no. Homeschool or private, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Because my son,
There's
at
no private.
Bro, I would bang you in your jaw every
there's
single
less of
day.
a chance. There's less of a chance of my son getting stabbed up at a nice private school than it is at a not typical.
Homeschool. Forget even private. By the time they grow up, even private school is going to be bad. I'm
That's
telling
true.
you. With the modules
I
they're
don't
bringing
mind
up.
homeschool
Let's not
because
bring that up.
But you know what? Sometimes private schools are worse than these things. Because there's
Yeah.
so many posh, rude boys that want to come to school with drugs and all of that stuff.
And it's proper drugs.
Yeah.
And it's
not
proper
like
drugs,
weed.
yeah. It's
like
the real
money.
deal
Yeah.
ecstasy.
Yeah.
And they've got
Money.
Yeah.
prestige condition
Mate,
ecstasy.
kids are not safe.
Kids are not-
Anyway, they need to be home.
Homeschool. Can I just take you guys back to a time in high school when, you're approaching university time and you're thinking about what you're going to study, and they used to send you to an office called the Careers Advisors Office.
You pussy, yo. Why didn't you advise me properly? Fucking waste, man.
Wasn't that the most useful office ever? Do you guys remember the advice that you got? Generic.
Personal statement. Focus on your
So what do you want to do?
personal
Do you wanna
statement,
be a
your
lawyer?
mum, bruv.
And they're looking at you like, you'll never be a lawyer. Oh, you want to be a lawyer? Print something out. There you go. Next. And then because you're young, you never think to yourself, this person's giving me career advice. But this is your job.
Oh, no offense.
And it's the same with studying business, yeah? Unless you're getting taught by Elon Musk or Steve Jobs, yeah?
100%.
You're not in Harvard Business School. You're studying business at Harrow College like me. Like, your teachers are failures. All right, and they're trying to tell you about life, and it's just like, bro, this is not. And I think it's because I was dumb kid, yeah. It wasn't making sense. Like, my teacher's driving the wackest car on road, and I'm here taking lessons from
We
them.
never saw anything though.
We never
we
were blind to it.
Why were we so
the
blind?
Perfect sheep.
It would have just taken one person to say, "Yo, has your teacher got a business?"
Literally.
It's just this. Why didn't anyone say anything?
Nothing.
If someone said to you, "Yo, is this teacher? Do they own a business?" Wouldn't you have thought, rare?
Yo, miss, are you broke? Why are you teaching me about life when you're broke?
I'd say, miss, button your books.
That would have been the bomb.
Can we talk outside the syllabus of this textbook for a minute?
Yeah.
Have you done anything for yourself?
Imagine.
It's like, nah. The whole purpose of education by the Rothschild family was to create good slaves.
Okay.
That's the truth.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
just now we're entering the whole conspiracy.
No, it's not conspiracy.
Yeah, okay.
They were the family that in
Yeah.
America started this whole education thing.
Yeah.
And back in the day, they said they don't want good thinkers, they want good workers.
Of course, yeah.
They said that, and since then, this is what they've produced, just good workers.
Yeah, and have you noticed in school, every time you ask a question that goes outside the box, the teacher doesn't want...
Because the teacher's dumb, bruv. The teacher don't know. It's not like they're trying to hide it.
Yeah.
They don't know. They're thick. That's why. There's one big conspiracy. They're actually dumb.
I used to question things, and I was seen as rebellious.
Yeah. They're figuring the truth is the teachers don't have to answer. They get given a textbook. They're like, to read this out to the kids. He doesn't understand what it is, but he just has to regurgitate it.
Yeah, they don't even read the textbook. They get the students to read out.
Yeah. Oh, guys, read it. Or today we're watching a movie.
Oh, that was the best.
Nah,
When they
bruv.
used to roll the
massive
TV
TV
trolley in. Oh, that was the best. That was a good
If I was a
lesson.
teacher, I'd do that all day.
Oh, for me?
Literally.
I'd have
That TV is not leaving my classroom.
Yeah,
I'm watching them. Martin Scorsese films on standby all day. That's
God.
it.
And you know, students will probably learn more from those movies.
100%, man.
They would learn so much more from those movies than they would learning
Many
about,
percent.
the Second World War. And it's not even real historical facts. It's all
not.
bias. Education, like Tony Blair said. No, Tony Blair. It's not education. It's miseducation.
Yo. If you've enjoyed this video, please press the subscribe button. It really helps our channel. Thank you.
Is it hard to subscribe?
No, you just press a button.
So why are they not doing it?
Time is hard, but I'm holding on. I'm gonna be your number one.